This is a fire hazard.
I'm making my elevator safer. Hola! I'm Mike, the backyard mechanic, and my elevator is dangerous. Specifically, it's a toxic fire hazard. Some people have asked where that clip came from. It's a selfie after just a little too much bourbon. And before I have too much bourbon, I have a big announcement to make later. But before that, let's get down to business. So how do I know the elevator is dangerous? I read the comments. I was quite honored and impressed that people of real expertise were passing on their advice. Here are a few of them. Do you take coupons for this video? This guy is always wanting to give me a coupon. What do I give him? 50% off? 50% off what?
Does your video take coupons?
Dear algorithm, please only recommend videos not using American units. Hey, did this guy call me a unit? Don't eat that. That was probably good advice. Former career firefighter here. The quickest way to burn down your house is to have fire enter the attic space. Once the fire enters that space, the house is usually a total loss. The garage is the second most common place where fires start. I honestly didn't think about fire safety when I did this. I was busy thinking about getting my crap up into the attic without the contraption collapsing. Modification of the garage ceiling should include maintaining the integrity of the ceiling by including the code sheetrock and smoke alarms at the highest point. So yeah, I need to cover the hole with something fire resistant and install a smoke alarm. You think your wife was mad about the hole in the wall, wait until she starts smelling the exhaust gases from the car because you cut a giant hole between the garage and your living spaces. Mrs. Backyard Mechanic already has asthma, dizziness, and headaches, and that's just from living with me. It's possible the toxic gases in the garage could make that worse. I need to seal up my hole. In addition to fireproofing, I'd like to clean this up. It's functional, but looks like hell. Kinda like a YouTuber you all know, Jake Paul. You didn't think I meant me, did you? Pfft. I've never looked better. And I've got a tattoo. I'd like to make the bottom of the platform flush with the ceiling when it's raised, but it would be difficult because the platform is so out of square. Not only is it out of square, but it's not locked down and is actually pretty sloppy. To make matters worse, the ceiling is out of square. So I need to square up the platform side to side, but front to back it needs to be on the same angle as the ceiling. This gap also needs to be sealed to prevent toxic gases from entering the attic. The plan is to trim the opening with moldings, insulate the platform, cover the bottom with fireproof plywood, and have it stay flush to the ceiling when raised. I also need to do something to close up the gap in the back. To make the platform flush with the ceiling is a tricky problem, but I think I know what to do. I'm known for thinking outside of my socks. I'll put 2x4s along the sides that will be parallel to the ceiling. These will act much like a door stop. Additionally, I can put some weather stripping on these stops to help seal the opening. This in particular is a good solution because Mrs. Backyard Mechanic didn't like my first idea of her wearing a hazmat suit in the house. I'm going to get the platform as flush as possible for this phase. In a future video, I'll tear the platform down, square it up, and reinforce it. The first idea for the platform bottom was a piece of fire-resistant plywood. Home Depot sells it, but for delivery only, and delivery is $80, which would have made the total closer to $130. Instead, I decided to get this fire guard and fireproof a piece of plywood myself. Trying to save money, I got this CDX grade half-inch plywood. Didn't take long for me to realize this was way too rough for a finished surface and scrapped it, opting instead for a 1/4-inch sanded plywood sheet, which was much nicer looking. However, did you see my video on fire safety in the garage? That was rhetorical. Nobody saw it because everybody looked at that thumbnail and thought, if my garage is a fire hazard, I don't want to know. I mean, I procrastinate as much as the next guy, but usually it involves something innocuous like whether or not I should pick my underwear up off the floor. Okay. In my fire safety video, the treated plywood held up okay against fire, but the sheetrock was like a brick wall. I was both surprised and impressed, so I scrapped that plywood and bought a sheet of rated X drywall. I can only imagine why they classify this drywall as rated X. Before painting it, I wanted the mounting placement determined first so I could paint over any pencil marks. This is heavy. A full sheet of drywall weighs 70 pounds. Sorry, for those who don't like American units, 70 avoirdupois pounds, or 5 stone if you will. I think that covers it, right? Give me a break, I went to American schools. The drywall was supported on sawhorses, the platform was lowered onto the drywall, and it was clamped into position. The platform was lifted, and I screwed it into place with, funnily enough, drywall screws. The screws were then removed and the platform released. It was then flipped over and given a coat of primer. After the primer had dried, it was given a coat of latex paint. After the paint dried, I drilled out the painted holes. The drywall will be going on and off as I finish the safety steps. To make the edges nice, I got a couple of vinyl J-channels. The corners were cut to roughly 45 degrees and pushed onto the edges. The holes were drilled through the J-channels so the drywall screws would hold them in place. The opening is going to be framed with 1x4 pine. I needed something that large because it looks like I cut the opening with a dull chainsaw while blindfolded. The 3 pieces of moldings were cut to size with 45-degree angles using my miter saw. They were all mounted, ensuring that I hit the ceiling joists and doing my best to keep a uniform half-inch gap around the platform. The moldings were removed and fire treated with 2 coats of fire guard as per the instructions. They were then painted. The 4th one is scrap that I use for fire tests. I was careful to paint the correct side of all of them. While the molding paint was drying, the platform stops can be mounted. These will be basic 2x4s on 3 sides of the opening. A couple of fixtures were made. These will bolt up against the ceiling with a piece of 2x4 and some spacers that measure to the height of the platform minus the thickness of the molding. While the stops are just basically 2x4s, they will have weather stripping attached later, so each stop was trimmed on the table saw to give them a clean flat surface. With the fixtures in place, a 2x4 stop was laid on them and secured with several screws to the ceiling joist. The same fixtures were used for the other side and the front. The weather stripping was cut to size and stuck in place. The reviews said that the sticky backing didn't work very well, although it seemed pretty damn sticky to me. But the heat from the attic could affect them, so I put holes in them with a hole punch and secured them with wide head screws. The gap in the back of the elevator shaft has long needed to be closed up, not just for fire and gas safety reasons, but because there's nothing there to hold the loose insulation in place. First, some OSB supports are cut to fit. Pieces of 2x4 use as brackets. They are screwed to the top of the wall header and then the supports are screwed to the brackets. The center support is first mounted to the brackets, then to the wall header. The actual covers are cut from the 1/4-inch plywood that would have otherwise gone to waste since it was replaced with drywall. The covers are attached to the wall and supports with a brad nailer. Extra insulation is gathered from around the attic and placed up against the cover. A lot is needed. This area was definitely an inefficiency for my garage AC. To insulate the platform and to keep with the whole fireproofing theme, from Home Depot I ordered this fireproof insulation that's used for kilns. If you would have seen my safety video, you would have seen this stuff is absolutely incredible. It just ignores fire. Doesn't care. What's that? Oh, do I feel warm? Oh, is that fire? So what? It's laid in place on the drywall and the platform is lowered down. I start 4 screws, then drive them in all the way. The platform is raised and the remaining screws are screwed. In interior caulk was used on the moldings, which helps it look nicer against the popcorn ceiling. The insulation covers were painted, then that molding which had the wrong side was painted, and I put a fresh coat of paint on the rest of the structure. Mount the smoked carbon monoxide detector. The mount didn't say which way is up. My guess is the text reads on the bottom, so this hole must point down. And I guess that was a bad guess. But it still works. The fire extinguisher is mounted over here, and I hung the fire blankets next to it. Phase 1 of making the elevator fire safe is complete. Mostly complete. I have some tweaks that need to be made to the platform in the second phase. The platform looks great when it's in its raised closed position. A whole lot better than the holy hell my hole was before. That big announcement that I had promised? I've started a Patreon. I've been avoiding starting a Patreon because I didn't have enough fans to justify charging them, but then I realized, who says I need to charge? This Patreon is free for all my fans. The main purpose is to notify you when a new video is posted. Hopefully this will help me get over the algorithm hurdle that has just been brutal to me the last few months. Yes, some of my thumbnails could use some work, but it's not all me. Don't worry, there's stuff for you too. I have a few members-only videos planned that will come out in the next few weeks. Plus, I'll be seeking feedback, like what kind of content you prefer to see. How will you know? You'll get notified. If you join, so do it. Link in the description, of course. You might also get to see my tattoo. Hey, have you liked this video and subscribed? Share it with a friend who might like that I take on various serious projects in a very unserious manner. I'd wait for you to do that, but I need to sell some t-shirts. Crazy Dog t-shirts. This is the last week to save 30% off of already inexpensive but great stuff. Use my code MikeMechBonus30 to get that sweet discount and give me credit so I can get paid in shirts. Get yourself a cool shirt like the one I'm wearing. This is a response to the discerning hiker, but not the same shirt. They have lots of shirts. You don't have to copy. Stay out of trouble. Speaking of trouble, I'm in trouble for not showing socket last week. Oh, I have a fan online. Hey fan, did you like the video?
Fireproofing your garage is a good idea. Now if we could just mic-proof it, we'd all be safe.
Thanks, fan. Just like Third Rock from the Sun, there's a new Mike the Backyard Mechanic every Wednesday at noon Eastern. I should put those away. And later. My feet are cold.
Hold it, I think that's my smoke detector going off. No, that's just the alarm that you posted a new video.